of parking and growing your own food. That is, if it wasn't abandoned because of nuclear waste. By the end of this video, Trending Tenz is going to show you just how eerie these abandoned cities are and how totally out of the norm but entirely awesome they are to check out. Trending Tenz is about top 10 videos of all kinds. Click on the subscribe button with the bell notification. It's free and you'll never miss a notification for a new Trending Tenz video. That being said, let's check out the top 10 abandoned cities in the world. Number 10. Residents of Centralia, Pennsylvania. Like something out of a nightmare, the coal fire under the town of Centralia, Pennsylvania has been raging since 1962 and may burn for another 250 years. This town has since then been called the Burning Ghost Town. An attempt to clean up the local landfill lit the coal seams under the surface of this small Pennsylvania town. During the years the fire has burned, residents have slowly abandoned their homes, fearing not only the fire beneath their feet, but sudden sinkholes and carbon monoxide poisoning. The state government condemned Centralia in 1992. Adventurous tourists still venture to Centralia, looking to walk along the cracked, graffitied road that leads into town. Number 9. Kolmanskop, Nambia. This eerie city is located among the sand dunes of the Namib Desert. Kolmanskop was built to house workers at a nearby diamond mine. However, intensive mining depleted the area by the 1930s. The town's fate was sealed when the richest diamond fields ever known were found on the beach terraces to the south. The townspeople left in crowds, abandoning homes and possessions. By 1956, Kolmanskop was completely abandoned, and since then, the desert has consumed it, almost filling the once grand houses with sand. The interiors of a few buildings, however, are in good condition. Number 8. Bodie, California. The term ghost town is thrown around so often, it's hard to imagine there's really one out there. But Bodie, near the Nevada state line and the Sierra Nevada mountain range, is the real deal. In the late 1800s, Bodie was once a boom town during the California gold rush. For 17 years, it was a small mining camp that was filled with a variety of people. Rough winters, disease, and mining accidents led to the death of many of Bodie's residents, and Bodie's high crime levels earned the town a reputation for lawlessness. By 1882, the population declined as mining companies became bankrupt and people sought out better opportunities. By 1940, Bodie was a ghost town. It is now a California historic landmark. Number 7. Tianducheng, China. Did you know that China has the second largest 354-foot replica of the Eiffel Tower? Known as the Paris of the East, the luxury housing development started in 2007, Tianducheng was designed to evoke classical European charm, including a replica of a fountain from the Luxembourg Gardens in the main square called Les Champs-Élysées. Chinese architects like to refer to the city as a duplicature because of their belief in their ability to recreate the world's greatest architectural marvels, and as a testament to their skill and technological advancements. Unfortunately, China's attempt to recreate the City of Light ended up being more creepy than romantic. The goal was to house 100,000 residents, but the city has remained mostly abandoned because of the developers running out of money and its very odd location. Number 6. Hashima Island, Japan. This small island is located off the coast of Nagasaki, Japan, and is now a vacant labyrinth of crumbling concrete, sea walls, and deserted buildings. It was once the most populated place on the planet, as it housed people working in the undersea coal mines in 1887. Hashima Island quickly expanded as the world's first multi-story, reinforced concrete high-rise buildings for the growing population of 5,200 residents. This island fortress also featured a clubhouse, movie theater, communal bath, swimming pool, rooftop gardens, stores, and even a pachinko parlor. The mine eventually closed in 1974 when Japan moved away from coal power. And as the jobs went, so did the people. The island opened to tourists in 2009 and was also featured as a villain's lair in the James Bond movie Skyfall. Number 5. Pripyat, Ukraine. This is the most famous and worst nuclear power plant disaster in the world. At 1:23 a.m. on April 26, 1986, the nuclear power plant at Chernobyl blew, releasing toxic radiation into the skies over Pripyat, a city specifically built to house the plant's scientists and workers. It took them 36 hours for 49,000 people to evacuate the 13,000 apartments, 5,000 children in schools, 24 stores and cafes, a cinema, sports center, cultural center, several factories, and a hospital. The people from Pripyat were relocated, and the city of Slavichek was built as their new home. Since the radiation levels have decreased considerably in the years since the disaster, and the reactor has been capped, people have been allowed back into the nuclear exclusion zone. Number 4. Oradour-Sur-Glane, France. On June 10, 1944, the French village of Oradour-Sur-Glane was destroyed by the Nazis' SS organization during World War II. Soldiers killed 642 individuals and left few survivors. It was believed to have been an act of revenge for the town's supposed support of the French resistance. The men were taken to barns and machine-gunned, and the women and children were locked in a church and killed with explosives and incendiary grenades. Post-war, the village became symbolic of German crimes against civilians and was declared a memorial and museum. It remains preserved in its ruined state, and every year on June 10th, a commemoration ceremony is held to mark the anniversary of the massacre. Number 3. Varosha, Cyprus. It's not often that a tourist destination frequented by the likes of Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, and Raquel Welch become a ghost town. In the early 1970s, Varosha was one of the most popular millionaires' playground in the Mediterranean, filled with high-class beachfront hotels. But all of that changed in 1974, when Turkey invaded Cyprus. As the opposing Turkish and Greek armies descended, Varosha's 15,000 residents fled for their lives in terror. Since then, it has been abandoned and fenced off with nobody but military allowed inside. Trees have grown through the floors of restaurants and homes, and most of the former residents' belongings have been looted or destroyed. What is left stands as a spooky time capsule for the 1970s, including bell-bottoms in shop windows and 40-year-old vehicles still parked at car dealerships. Number 2. Ashgabat, Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is a former Soviet Union country with a leader that has been compared to North Korea's Kim Jong-un. President Saparmurat Niyazov planned to create a golden era of Turkmenistan in 1991 with the building of Ashgabat. He did this by erecting buildings that broke records, like becoming the city with the most marble buildings in the world. In fact, the 4.5 million square metered city has 543 buildings made completely out of luxury marble. And just for fun, they also have the world's largest Ferris wheel. Today, this city is largely a ghost town because of the country's isolated cultures. It's one of the hardest countries to enter due to the fact it's very difficult to get a visa to visit, which also makes it one of the least visited countries in the world. Number 1. Ordos Kangbashi, China. In the early 2000s, the Chinese government poured over $1 billion into the development of this city. This modern city was built with state-of-the-art architecture, international stadiums, and extravagant public spaces. The city achieved these beautiful spaces in under 10 years, but have failed to attract people. The abandoned city was built to hold 1 million people, but in 2016, only some 100,000 people lived and worked there, and even those slowly moved out, leaving the buildings completely empty. The city stopped building and went bankrupt, which makes this place the largest ghost town in the world.